The night was dark, the wind howling, and the rain was pouring down relentlessly. Alice sat huddled on her bed, trembling with fear, the darkness and the cold making her shiver. Every creak and groan of the old house made her heart flutter with terror. She had been warned not to move into this house, but she had ignored all the warnings, now regretting her decision. As she lay there, she suddenly felt something brush past her leg, and she jumped in fear. She turned on the light, only to find nothing. She told herself it was probably just a cat, even though she didn't have one. She tried to calm herself, but her mind was playing tricks, and she couldn't shake off the feeling that she was not alone. She could hear whispers, footsteps, and doors opening and closing despite securing all the entrances. Finally, Alice mustered the courage to get off the bed and investigate her suspicions. She walked slowly, carefully treading as she moved along the corridor, fighting hard to keep her nerves under control. Suddenly, she saw a shadowy figure lurking in the darkness. Her heart raced, and she gasped in fear, only to realize that it was a coat hung on a peg. Alice sighed in relief, but then she heard a sound behind her, a dragging sound like something heavy being dragged on the floor. She turned around and saw a dark silhouette moving towards her. The figure was unlike any other, with its head twisted at an impossible angle, its eyes glowing a cold blue. She wanted to scream, but no sound came out of her mouth. She tried to run, but her legs refused to obey. Fear had paralyzed her, and she knew the end was near. The figure was upon her now, its ghastly face inches from her own, filling her vision. She closed her eyes, bracing herself for the inevitable, but then she felt a cold hand on her shoulder. Alice opened her eyes, and to her surprise, there was no one. She screamed and ran, not looking back, but she was not quick enough. Something grabbed her from behind, and everything went dark. Hours later, Alice woke up, groggy but alive. She sat up, trying to remember what had happened. She had vague memories of a struggle and of being dragged, but everything else was a blur. When she looked around the room, she noticed something strange. Her bed was now covered by white sheets with bloodstains. Alice screamed and ran out of the house, never to return again. The locals say that a cursed family had lived in that house before, a family that had died a gruesome death. Some claim to have seen their ghosts still haunting the place, torturing the living souls who dared to venture in. Thus, Alice had learned to believe in the warnings offered by locals and had come to realize that the strange voices were not mere figments of her imagination. She never forgot that experience and always prayed that no one would ever encounter the same fate.